I'll call the meeting to order. Are there any additions or amendments to the minutes of the last regular meeting?
I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes.
Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion carries. Any comments from the audience?
I'm Heidi Stanton. I wanted to thank you on behalf of the citizens of Morris, the town board, especially the highway superintendent, for the prompt and comprehensive response to the FOIL request submitted on March 12th, 2015. Thank you.
And we would like to ask Councilman Webster if he would consider repeating the motion he brought to the floor in 2011 asking for a moratorium on gas drilling in the town of Morris. Given the change in the board makeup over the past year, perhaps the new board members would be willing to weigh in on this important issue. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I would just say that it was nice to see the announcement about the meeting in the newspaper today, in the Daily Star. And I didn't know if that had been a regular practice or not, but I saw that it was in the paper today.
Let me in there, what's going on? The meetings as a whole. How board meetings have been start. The rule.
We don't pay. They always start from...
No, this is... No, it's in the column that has a list of all the meetings around the... and the list of ours and butternuts and...
Tom?
We're looking at these, they have jackhammers. We have trouble establishing some ditches for the shale come up through. See what they do about hammering them out.
What was this at Office Max? Is it no copier?
It's coming out of the grant money.
Yeah.
The court grant money.
No, but that's for the courtroom. It is a new copier.
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't make out if they had things copied and for selling out or...
No.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Yeah, it says demo and it says brother coupon and then I see a little bit here, I couldn't make out if it's copies and fax. And that's what I was... Okay, I'm for it.
Got it right?
Yes. Yes.
heated, it's got a water heater in it, it works like an oil furnace. The water pump itself is fine, the problem is with the heater system. See what it is? Fastenal doesn't, but there's other people that do. That's all specialty stuff.
Yeah.
The big plow yacht's got different manufacturers.
See, they must have been running into you, huh? And Julie's? Oh, I guess they're dead. I see two of them.
What you talking about?
They had like towels and trash bags, they had like almost, I thought they were double bill, because you had one on one page and
I told them send 2 boxes.
Oh.
They sent one,
of the,
and then they sent
The
the other one a
tablets.
couple days later. They only had one on the
that's
shelf.
what I said, I see a couple of them here, different ones, and I see,
They didn't double dip us. I'm on it.
yeah, we got stuff in state bid too. And try to figure where their bills are. So many cents over tank wagon price out of Port Authority and so much a gallon for delivery and this, and it's on state bid, and try to figure out what you're paying for it.
It's the worst bill every month. Trying to sort out.
Yeah.
I start off with a stack of paper like that, where boil it down to this.
have to put. We're only on that outfit that Charlie Lee used to have down there. Is somebody still running that?
Last year, those are still down there,
Was it?
down by where the roundhouse was.
Yeah, yeah. They used to be big in the snow. Huh?
I'll separate out.
Yeah, they used to be big snowplow parts and this and
Just
that.
a little.
I don't think he's
I don't-
decided to it or something, I don't know. 'Cause we used to get little stuff off our years ago, but then he just kind of faded out of the picture completely.
I'm not sure, I haven't known what they've done since they left town here. Shoes and blades and,
And we used to get some snow, or grader plates on them down there, but I don't know, I haven't involved in on it for 5 years.
Scott Parker was right next door.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
I went down to see him one day and they were working, but it's been a few years.
Motion authorize the supervisor to pay the bills.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, all the board members provided with the first quarter of 2013 budget versus actual funds, reports on the funds, and the fund balance reports for the first quarter. The Finance Committee reviewed the supervisors and clerk collectors' financial reports for the month of March 2013 prior to the meeting. Those reports are for you to take home.
Yeah.
I put a copy there of this intent to undertake an action within an agricultural district. It's relative to the water district. It's part of the process. Did everybody review it?
The only thing I question on is why is the water district's property in that district part of agricultural defense? You know, there's only 2 parcels that are.
Right, the water, the tower, and the one farm, right?
Yeah.
That farm must be that.
But it's taken, it's within an agricultural district, so it's
Actual district.
doing an action. So they have to be notified. Any other questions on it? Now, is there a motion to adopt the final notice?
Motion, no.
Is there a second?
I'm thinking.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Also need a motion authorizing the town supervisor to sign the aforementioned intent.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the.
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Motion carried. Everybody got a letter from the emergency squad notifying them of the open house?
Now, I don't know what you fell asleep. And I know they've had a little struggle here in the last year or two, but last 50 years, our emergency squad's given a lot of people are right out of town, they've got a lot of things, a lot of good people. I think maybe it would be nice if we could set a time go together and just make an appearance just for a half an hour. I mean, town and village actually own the fire company and the emergency squad. We appoint the commissioners. I think it would just show our support a little bit for all the hours and time that they put in free, but I don't know what you guys think, but I'd like to kick it around. You know, doesn't have to be an all afternoon thing or anything else, but well, sometimes it's at a time, whatever time works for.
One to four, right?
Yeah, one to
One to four.
Four, so.
Make an appearance. I don't know.
And this one,
Saturday.
yeah, it's when we're cooking.
That's 1 o'clock. Yeah.
I realize that.
I thought right this morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. 1 o'clock. Nobody's ever there. If we went at 1:30 for say a half an hour or something.
Fine.
Those of it could anyway. Going.
Shoot for 1:30?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Works for me.
Okay, we need a board resolution regarding the standard workday of appointed and elected officials that participate in the New York State Retirement Plan. We have two.
Actually, you got John.
John and Chase.
Oh, okay.
John's the only elected one.
Yep.
Chase is the only appointed one.
I can understand we can pick John out pretty easy, but we can do the standard work day.
John had to do a timesheet
Yeah.
in the first
Oh,
3
okay.
months.
Yeah, I say I can understand him pretty well. I say she must have to give you something because we have no idea.
She,
Yeah, she made one out.
oh yeah, everybody
Yeah.
did that
Okay.
participates, other than the ones that are in time schedules.
Yeah.
That's where she got knocked down from in her number of days that got recorded, because there wasn't enough times to account. This is a bad part of the year for her to do the time sheets. Is there a motion adopting the resolution?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Yeah, second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Resolution adopted. John?
The state budget went through, so they deposited our CHIPS funding for the year. We've been at 92, a little better than 92,000 the last 4 or 5 years, I think. And they bumped it up to 118 this year. We're up, increase of $26,000. On the bucket controls for the tractor, you authorized me $1,250. I called McFadden, and they said $1,500. So I called Clinton Tractor back, and they said $1,800 now. $1,200 was what they quoted me last fall when they were equipping the boom mower on it. What do you think?
I think you need it.
I talked to Jerry, and he's dealt with Allied before, and he's thinking 1650. It's $150 more than McFadden, but it'll save us taking it up to Sharon Springs,
Now, who's this?
Jerry Fuchs,
Okay.
across the way. We'll eat up 150 in gas, get the thing up there, and then get the thing back. Plus you got two guys a half a day twice.
Okay, now I got a question. And this was been ongoing long before you came on the town board. And I was called an idiot because I believed in insurance. Does Jerry Fuchs have insurance? And can he produce a copy? We can't have Bob Anderson come do work on this townhouse because he doesn't have certain insurances. And I guess a little bit personal, when I'm called an idiot because we have to have insurance, I'm stupid enough to have insurance. I'm not too much against the whole taxpayers of the town of Morris going into somebody that doesn't have insurance. And that's a question I have before I would say have Jerry do it. I would still pay the $1,800 to be covered for the town of Morris than I would go out someplace and I put taxpayers at liability. And that's my question.
Well, I don't know what he has.
Bill Pickens can't do certain things because he doesn't have, or Tom, because he doesn't, before he was on the town board, because he doesn't have certain insurances. I want to know that, before I say yes, I want to know if he's got the insurances that every other person has to have.
I think we gotta do the thing. I think we gotta, even if we pay the long price, but we
Right.
should.
I want to prove to have it done, John. I'm not against having it done.
Well, I understand that.
I just am against
Probably.
taking a double set of standards.
Should have proof.
No, I'm not saying this to you, I say this has been ongoing for a long time.
Well, I know, it wasn't me.
Yeah, no, I know it wasn't you.
I'm just asking a question.
My question is why can't McFadden send somebody out?
I don't know.
No. I mean, it's something that can be done right there in the shop.
Well, or ask him and bring it back to you next
You
week.
know, no. Let's approve so much. Let's not keep kicking this around. John needs this bucket, he's creeping, he's doing this and that. Let's make something, as long as it's done legally, we've got to have it done. Let's have it approved so he can go someplace and have it done. It's kicking around, but I just don't want to have it done with somebody that's a double set of standards.
Well, what would that be? What would that,
Well, if McFadden can do it for
well, I
you,
understand that.
if he can do it for you,
What
within,
insurance are we looking for?
well, I mean, he's a business, and he's got to have liability insurance.
Right.
And he's got to have workman's comp on his men he works for, he can't stay in business. But, and Pete can tell you what insurance people need to work for the town, what they have to have.
Yeah, comp insurance.
Comp insurance and liability.
The worker has to have comp for his employees, but
Right, and he
the
himself,
main thing is the liability. The liability coverage is if he does something wrong and the bucket fails and
Pin somebody.
pin somebody underneath of it, his insurance is going to be.
So he needs liability, and if he's having an employee work on it,
or even himself. That's the way it had been, right? You said Bob Anderson can't fix her up because he couldn't have workman's comp on himself.
If he's working up at his shop,
At his shop, he's
okay,
exempt.
you don't have to have comp on yourself.
Not legally,
The
except for
workers'
working for
comp.
town.
Yeah,
You do?
yeah. I can't do work if I don't have comp on myself. I have comp on the employee, not on myself, which I can't draw comp. Even if I got injured, I can't draw comp. So I don't know, it's kind of foolish, but in his shop, I would say probably,
You might be exempt on it in
I
the
would
shop.
say in his shop.
But you gotta have liability insurance, you can't go.
well,
Yeah,
if he is a limited liability where he's drawing a paycheck of the company, then he can't work on his employees can work on it if they're covered by his workers' comp. And he also has to have the liability to cover if anything.
Just ask him.
But if you don't, send it to either one of them. I make a motion, let's get this off the table. John's been dealing with this for a year. I'd make a motion to approve up to 1,800. He gets the best deal he feels is best as long as the people got insurance. He goes ahead and gets it fixed.
Show this proof, send this
Yep.
proof.
You second?
I second it.
Yeah, if you can get
We
it.
can't go another month and talk about it again.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'd like to rent an excavator for 1 week with a hammer on the end. We got about a dozen places where the shelf is sticking right up out of the ditch. It's, we could do it with a backhoe, but it'd take 5 times longer, and the backhoe isn't the right tool for the job. It's tough on it. If we had a hammer come in, whack apart that shale, keep our ditches established, keep the water away from the gravel, it's going to keep our roads better. They're all over the place. They're on Star Corners and Pitsley and all over the town. If we had a small machine for a week that we could chuck on our trailer, take it spot to spot, knock that shale out, it'd save us time and money on our roads. I have Beisler's price list, and for the small excavator with a hammer is about $2,000 for the week. They also have skid steers with hammers. They're about $1,500 a week.
And I gotta be near his hand before you get in the ditch.
No, you have to get right down in the ditch with it. With the excavator, you can reach in, bust up the stone, throw it on a trailer and get to the next place and bust the stone out of there. It's easy, of course, to see these places where this is going on, but it's hard to establish a ditch into the shelf. What you guys think of that?
I think it's probably cheaper than hiring Lenny.
Oh, yeah.
You got somebody to run it. You can truck it yourself, right?
Yeah, it'll go right on our, it's small enough, go right on our trailer. We can truck it site to site and go get the thing, take it back if we need to, whatever we can do to
I have no objection.
save a buck. This doesn't have to be done right away, but the roads are still, the dirt roads are still wet to be on. We can't get on them yet. And I don't know if this would be in April or into May before we got to it, but
Have you checked the Springers or Clinton Track?
I haven't talked to anybody. I just grabbed this one right here.
Ours is the cheapest on the island. He can call, but I say Viceland, I know he is because we rent stuff all the time.
If it's approved, I can shop around, get the best deal we can.
I'll make the motion.
This is just one that hit my desk, and if you think it's a good idea, I'll go further with it.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion carried.
I got the sealing, the chip sealing estimate for the year. 72. Probably 65 range is eligible for chips. Probably about $7,000 isn't. That's of what we pay Suitco. We can put in our labor in equipment rental and
If you want to
get
get
it
some
up,
more chips money.
get it up over that, no problem.
One way or another, you guys have money to spend, do something else.
And this is our estimate. Now this is, they wouldn't give Suitco municipal pricing on stone. Stone's 15 and a quarter, so that would take about $3,500 off the bottom line. So it's actually going to be under 70 with the adjustment to the stone price. and this here's an estimate from them for 100 ton of stone for another pile of coal patch. And again, it's $15.25, so that's about a 500, that'd be about $5,200 for 100 ton of stone. They're throwing 20 ton of.
We put that in landfill?
Last year we put it right in our parking lot, right in front of Lukey's, right in front of the side door. With what we're sealing this year, Harris Hill's on the list, and that needs a lot of greater patch.
You got it, just some sort of a
That worked really good having that pile of material right handy. Now, if we go buy it from Oneana, we're gonna pay double
$90 stone.
because they don't get municipal pricing on the stone. They're not sure they're gonna sell it to municipalities, they might sell it to contractors, whoever else, so they don't, they pay double the stone fee.
Where it costs blacktop
So,
over there.
I'd like permission to bunk up a pile of coal patch. 100 ton is what we had last year.
Done it for years, we got it. You gonna make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
John, will you copies of those?
What's that?
I'll need copies of those.
Okay. You wanna take them and I'll come up tomorrow and get them?
Yeah, that's fine.
The roller. Best case scenario on fixing the roller is probably about $5,500, and worst case scenario is about $9,500. No one knows until they rip the thing open. $9,500 is a new motor, and probably somewhere in the middle. It might need head work, it might not. It might need a top end, a new top
Yeah, when
end.
you're in there, you might better put rings and everything else, and there's no sense doing it halfway and have to do it again in 4 or 5 years.
Well, maybe we get lucky and it's not anything.
Well, if it's not the head or anything, that'll be a big savings.
Right, but try to nurse it along like it is. We're pretty
You
much
can't do
guaranteed
that.
it's gonna be worst case scenario.
You got a valuable piece of equipment. Huh? Yeah.
That's a,
Somebody get hurt, and that's a valuable piece of equipment.
that's a half a gallon a day of motor oil goes through that thing.
You can't run like that. Gotta have it fixed.
Who I talked to was Pat Hill in Mount Upton. I'd like to send it to him. Tell him to rip it open and keep us posted on what's with it. And, but, you know, it's, for anything, even the age of the machine, it's a $30,000 machine, even being 25 years old.
You can't throw it out the window. You gotta have it fixed.
So press on with this.
Do we need to fix it more concrete? No. You said no.
I sent this here to 3 electricians. We sent it to Stan Leonard, we sent it to Jefferson, and we sent it to Leo. Jefferson and Stan have given me an estimate. The third one said he didn't want anything to do with municipalities, prevailing wage and insurances and such.
You made an effort.
Yeah.
You made an effort.
Yeah, we hand delivered, we had a truck going to Oneana, we hand delivered that to his office. He called me up about 2 hours later and said he wanted nothing to do with it. Here's Stan's write-up, and here's Jefferson's write-up.
They come over and look at it?
They came over, let's see, yesterday. They were here.
It's for the annex.
Yes. Well, it's for the main building and the annex.
Okay, some of those things that you talked about last month and.
Right, right. It's 3 jobs on here. You can have that, Linda,
Okay.
if you want it.
Yep, thank you.
He put 2 different ways of doing step 3. One was to get it up to snuff, and the other one was to tear everything out and start from scratch, which would be the 4 bays up to the office wall. And I think Jefferson just did getting it up to snuff, not tearing everything out. So.
So number 2 is the annex, John?
Yes.
Well, this is 1 and 2, isn't it? Or 1 and 3, John?
Yeah.
I can't tell you without looking at it.
Yeah, that's the, for the other building also.
This is a little confusing.
That's for the annex. One price was us digging the ditch for them, and the other price was them coming in, bringing in
Understand.
gravel and
Okay.
cutting the ditch for the conduit through the blacktop on our driveway and even patching the blacktop was the second price.
Huh? Yeah. But this says
It's 3,
remove all electric, oh, this is the one where he tore all this stuff out in the building.
probably, yeah.
I don't even know what you're looking at.
This one here. You see, because he's got 2 of them. The first one is 53, and what was he for the,
This is tear everything out, start from scratch in the 4 days.
this one, his is 58. I believe that's the way it is.
Yeah, this is the tear.
Yeah. So if you're apples for apples, John, I guess it's these 3.
Yes.
Um,
These 3 versus that one there.
Yeah, because he's, Jefferson is 55 and Leonard is 42.50 for the new entrance.
Right.
And then number 2, which would be the annex building, Leonard is 3,600. Jefferson is 47, as long as it's apples for apples and you don't have to do any backfill or anything.
Right.
And then phase 3, or parts, without tearing everything out, which is, I assume, is what Jefferson is bidding to, without tearing everything out.
Fixing the code violations, like we have
Right.
Romex hanging around and other nonsense.
Yeah, and he's 58 and Stan is 53, so.
That's to get it
Yeah.
to code.
And this is.
Right, and then this is if we want
That's
to
start.
start, huh? And this is, it's not that much more, but, you know, we have to approve of apples for apples and decide if we want to have an extra or not. Get a chance. Gee, how much money we got for that? How much can we put into?
We're looking at about, how much are we kicking out for metal?
The steel inside.
The steel.
$750.
Okay, and what other projects are we, when we looked at it, we were like 12,000 that we had to do stuff on the buildings.
Yeah.
Right, that's all we've done, that's all we've looked at is the $750 just to do that one side. The rest of it's, that's just siding, that's not an emergency,
Right.
even if we get,
What else are we looking at, anything else, are we?
for our buildings.
Well, door bottoms or,
And John, we asked him about that. He said that, thought maybe better get the parking lot fixed. The water wasn't laying on them all the time on the door bottoms until over
But
the
they
years.
sit right and stand in water in the winter. With the park, you know,
that's why I asked, were you gonna do the door bottoms or?
Not this year.
no,
We were down there at a highway, building, or a highway committee meeting, we asked him.
Yeah, I'd rather get the water away from the buildings first before we put new bottoms on the doors. And if, you know, I'm not opposed to throwing a coat of paint on the darn thing either, make it look a little better until we get around to putting steel on it. I think this is way more important than, you know.
The wiring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't want to burn our buildings down on it. What did they figure, 100 years old it was?
It was original.
Some of that stuff in there, we're using today as well, there's some stuff. So Dave, what is this we have total without going to 8100?
The first one for that was 4250, 36, and 53.
I haven't even really looked at them. The town's laptops in there, I'd take a home, print them off before I came down here.
Just a little over what we got.
Station 8 new lights.
About 15150. So, you had your druthers, John. What two parts of it would you do?
1 and 2, I think, I'd do you gotta do the entrance first.
Gotta do that.
And then I do the annex. I think the annex is a bigger safety issue even than the main building, just because, well, this is the time of year, we gotta go over there and get that stuff fired up for the year, and we gotta wedge stuff in there and run jumping cables, and it's dark in there.
First has some lights.
We'd like to have a string of lights, and we'd have to have a couple of outlets so we can get battery chargers plugged in.
And keep those other estimates for next year.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we can do
we
is
push-
just update them.
So we're going through 42 and 36.
So,
Okay.
about $8,000 each, so, 7,600. So if you wanted to buy some paint, or he said the steel for the other end of that one building would be about 800. You'd have a little room, you could do a couple
Yeah.
of things with it if you wanted to.
The steel that we have left on the main building isn't that much. We've got the 2 gable ends,
Right.
and then across the front primarily door.
Right.
So,
But I'm saying you gotta.
actually square, you know,
You know, you have 2,500 or so to play with left after a building fund. I'll make a move to have Stan Leonard do it, but,
Phase 1 to phase 2,
yeah.
is there a second?
I'll second that. Once you're done.
All in favor, aye?
Right.
Opposed, nay? Motion carried.
I talked to the state DOT, and I talked to the county. We have a road that's on the county inventory and it's not on the state inventory, which is that path between the Naylor Farm and
Oh,
23 pops out by Hilltop Appliance. We're on it and we maintain it and it gets traffic and we're on the county inventory for it. I think we're on the hook for it. But because the state doesn't have it, they told me that we need to have a resolution and name the road to get it on our state inventory in addition to the county inventory. Once it's on the state inventory, it becomes part of the CHIPS formula.
How does the county differentiate between that road and the main Naylor Road? They call it both Naylor Road and?
No,
in the town of
the
Lawrence?
county doesn't have a name on it. What the county did, they have a map about the size of this table of the town. And they went through in the mid-60s, and everything that's a legitimate road, they marked, and everything that was private, or that's kind of their official starting point. And that road's clearly on there as a road, but they have no name on it at the county.
The only thing I'm looking at is 911 came through in Maine, driveways
Yeah,
as roads.
that's true.
Now, is this the same scenario?
This has been a road piece, one of the things that we couldn't go that we wanted to. Maybe Jacob and I went through it with that deal up here at Alex Henderson's, and John Madison used that. In the wintertime it was closed, we use it every day that he farmed it. It's never been unused, and it's, what was it, once a year if a vehicle went over it, we had to maintain it. And it had to be closed for 7 years with a vehicle going over at least once a year. And oh, believe me, we were back against the wall
It's
lawyers here one night.
6 years with no traffic and no maintenance before you can dump it
You're right.
without the
And that
landlord's
road has
permission.
always been,
That's used quite a bit, I think.
it's always been used. Some, we don't own the whole road, we only just about halfway down to it.
About 2/3. The tube's ours.
Lawrence maintains the other end of it. Yeah, where the damn pothole keeps coming every year. Remember, 4 or 5 years ago, fair time, I came in and told John Law that there's a hole up there, there was a whole motorcycle, and then they went up and stuck the 55-gallon barrel right on in the middle of it, and he had done, and then he fixed it, and, yeah, no, that's always been an official road.
That isn't anything that has to happen right away.
Who'd you talk to, Linda?
I talked to Linda and I talked to Ron.
Well, Linda at the state.
Yes, and Ron at the county.
I'll give her a call.
Yeah. That what they do in the fall is they send out, the DOT sends out our inventory. And any mistakes or anything that's on, if they have widths or anything wrong with any of our inventory, we correct it and send a copy back to them. And that's used for the CHIPS calculation, which doesn't happen until after the first of the year. So we have until the first of the year, if that's what we do. It doesn't, it doesn't have, nothing has to happen for a couple of months. We can check it out and make sure, even ask the attorney or whatever, we talk to Linda or whatever you have to do.
Well, we need to check with 911 also to see if they've already established the name.
Right. That's the broom. The broom is in pieces.
This afternoon,
Yeah,
like you say, it's.
we got 3 days out of it, where it came unglued this time. It's
This one did not look like that other one did.
no, well, this one was $4,000 in 2011. The old one was $6,000 in 2001. About every 3 days of use, something goes. This time it's a shaft, the bearing, and something went on. The chains broke, but it happened close to quitting time, so we haven't taken it apart to see what's wrong with the thing. I was holding off asking for a new one because I thought I might like one on front better. And maybe in conjunction with a loader when we addressed the loader. But we get to looking at things down there, and the trucks were worse than the loaders, so we went after a truck instead. So but we're a good ways into it, so I say, probably we piece it back together and nurse it along as best we can. But, I just want you to know that that's homeowner grade. That's not highway department grade.
John, if you get in a bind, and let me talk to Jeffrey. I've got a broom sitting up there. I have used 5 or 6 years. And I think, I talked to Jeffrey, I think we might be more than willing to give it to the town, one that goes on behind.
Yeah.
You would have to buy the bristles, because I loaned it to a guy and he let it set for a year on the bristles.
Flat spotted. About Jerry right out of the can.
Let me talk to him in the morning.
We have.
If you get, so you gotta put a ton of money in that, you know, I'm sure that you could have that. And if it's something you could use and the safety guards on it that you need to have and stuff, more willing to take it than it is to cost the town a lot of money at this time when we're.
I don't think it's gonna be a lot, but see, it's a continuous problem. And we also have, of course, the downtime. And it's better now than last year. Last year we'd have to fix it and then sit around and wait till it rain again. But this year we have that.
Washington County, but let me.
This year we got that water truck, so it gives us more flexibility when we actually use it.
I'll talk to him and you stop and see me on, where else, what, Wednesday? Stop and see me Thursday, and I'll show it to you and see what it is. If it's something you think you bind you can use or fix up for halfway reasons, so back up, I'm sure that, but like I say, Jeff and Bonnie run the company now, so I just don't want to say.
Right. But, and like I told you, this happened, you know, pretty close to quitting time. We haven't tore into it and see how long the list of parts we need is gonna be. But the keyway's still in. The keyway's still in, and the shaft goes right to a point, looks like a bend in a pencil sharpener. The bearings are out of it, and we see the chain hanging down from underneath, but no telling why that broke. But
Sprocket's gone.
Who knows? Like I said, we haven't looked up under there, but that's, it's hard to get anything more than a couple days out of it before we gotta go get another bushel of parts.
You're pushing a lot of freaking weight when you're pushing that sand.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of it. You're pushing it halfway across the road and off the shoulders and sleeping on the grass.
Plus it's wet, so we got,
Yeah.
it doesn't move as good as dry stuff, but it's a whole lot safer.
Well, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you got a lot of weight there.
And then pickup trucks. You wanna talk about pickup trucks?
It's just, well, table it last one, see what you come back with.
I got a quote on a 1-ton gas. This is municipal pricing. I imagine all the manufacturers are real close to the same money. If we send that out, competitive bid, I think we do just as good as buying a state contract and have to go out to Rochester or find a dealer someplace to get the darn thing.
I wish I could buy it.
Oh, yeah, me too. Tires, oh my gosh, the town what they buy tires for. It's about half or less of what we can buy it for. All tax.
It doesn't say what the engine is.
3.7 a year ratio.
It doesn't say what.
It's big enough to put it.
GMC or the GMC?
Yeah.
But you put up an open bid for.
Well, New Lisbon just went through this and did competitive bid, and they ended up with Chevrolet from Country Club. So I talked to the same salesman that Bill Whitaker, that's even got the color that new has been ordered on it. I said, well, strip me off what you did on the Newsman truck and give that to me.
So, if we go ahead with this, which, I'm a firm believer, you can't run it forever, what we do. What's the plan? What would you suggest, Pete? Take the older one? We never had good luck at auctions, have we?
Not at auctions.
We never had good luck. We brought them back every time we sent them. John, that way he said to us is he had 3 pieces of things. I think last month's board meeting you said you had
We have
a box.
a dump body off a 6-wheeler, and we have an insert for
The sander.
the 6-wheeler.
And then you got the sander.
We
That's
have,
in the pickup.
yeah,
You could buy a sander, but you'd have to have a sander if you bought a truck, right?
well, they don't come together, of course, but
No, but I'm saying,
I have a price for a plow, and I have a price for a sander, and I have a price for a pickup truck.
but what I'm saying, John, what we're dispersing. What would we disperse? We disperse the old pickup,
If we got new,
excess equipment.
Yeah.
The old pickup,
yeah, if we got a new spreader, that stainless spreader could go,
that would go.
the gas job, and we have the dump body, and we have the insert for the dump body that's
Oh.
excess, the 6-foot or a
And you
6-wheeler.
had somebody interested in bidding on some of it, you said, some of the.
Well, I had a guy come through and offer me $1,500 for the dump body.
Probably bid it, see the bid or whatever.
Yeah, you'd have to declare it surplus.
Yeah, and then
Put it out.
see the
If the
bid.
town is selling surplus town property.
I'm not gonna tell you who offered me $1,500, so you get mad at me.
No, I won't. As long
Unless,
as things are double above board, I don't have any issue with it, John.
Jerry.
Yeah, that's fine. He can buy it from anybody, but as long as, and he can fix the truck as long as he's got the insurance, but it's, I don't want to jeopardize the town, and you know how I am about that. We went through that once before about that insurance cover people.
With me?
Yeah, you and I talked about that.
No.
I'm pretty sticky on that. I always have to cover all my people and done what I have to do right all my life, and I'm not gonna put the town in jeopardy.
Yeah, if you're looking to sell it, you know, you need to advertise it and offer it for sale.
So what's that
If
pick up,
you're-
4,000 or 5,000? The old one? I'm just trying to pick a ballpark, you know, if you have 4,000 or 5,000, say we come up with 6, 7 grand out of a bunch of it, that would help defray the cost of some of the excess equipment, not all of it, but he was gonna do. I mean, what's your plow, you got 25,000, what's your plow, and what's your,
The spreader's about 5,000, the plow's about 5,000 for a Fisher, which would be the same as what we have now. You know, the mounting, they mount the same, so, which would give us a little bit of flexibility if we ever
for
did.
the other, well,
Yeah,
you know what? $7,000 cheaper than you were last month, makes me feel a lot better. We could do it, couldn't we? 5 years, that's what we always used to trade for, every 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
I have no objections. I just want to get updated and get some of that stuff done.
well, if we are on a 5-year rotation or 2 pickups, the thing's gonna be around for 10 years, we could get reimbursed for it as well. You know,
Well, the pickup, you know,
Yeah.
the 04 we've had for 9 years now.
right.
And it's to the extent that it's not gonna go 10 years. You know, so you really can't ship it.
They work hard.
We've
Those things
got money
work.
in our equipment reserve fund, Don, and we can use that other CHIPS money for other projects. We don't,
Well, yeah, but,
you know,
to get it, I like it in our checking account rather than the state's. Doesn't mean we have to spend it.
You might have some project you wanna do, otherwise add another piece of equipment or something.
It's, depending on, do we want to get involved with another paving more highway and having to continue with that, or?
I think that's a big board discussion. I think that's something we should just discuss sometimes. Because, and Jacob and I have sat through this going back several years, and it was my contention, and it's starting to bite us. We can do so much paving. We can get money to do paving. But then, right now, we're very lucky because the chips just started letting us chip seal them.
Every 5 years.
Which is good.
Which is darn good, because if not, they're supposed to be sealed every 5 years, or they come apart. You're seeing that. They're coming apart. And to have the town raise that kind of money, and my thing is, how much do we put under hard service if the state cuts us off or something we're going to have to maintain? There's a balance there that we've got to keep. You've got if you've got a major bad spot or a major road's got a lot of houses on, let's talk about it. But if you've got just some roads you want to do, I think we got to look about maintenance down the future for the future generation.
Personally, I'd rather cycle through the ceiling before we're even worried about paving anything else. Make sure we can afford to maintain what we already have.
That's what we're saying.
And culverts.
Culverts, and you got a lot of them need fixing. Now, how many miles do you have paved right now? Do you have
26,
and that's just about half the town, right?
24 dirt.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We had just about half the town paved.
Dirt, it costs more to maintain dirt than pavement. You just don't have to write a check. It's absorbed in the paychecks and the fuel bill.
And if we go a little easy, John, what's going to happen, even with sealing in a few years, some of these roads are going to wear out and you're going to have to put another coat of paint on them.
Right.
So you could use your CHIPS money for that without going to a lot more that you've got to maintain. And you've got to think a little bit. You've got most of your heavy areas done.
Yeah, all the bad hills and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
We're behind too on that. We have roads that haven't been sealed in 10 years.
Yeah, we know.
So I'd rather seal what we have and take money and apply the money towards doing prep work before we seal them. And cycle all the way through every bit of paved road we have, then see where we're at before we tack on any more, personally.
I think it's a good plan. I don't think this is get more than we can take care of.
That's happened in Butternut's tearing up paved
Yeah,
roads.
turn
They
right
can
up
afford to
on that
maintain them.
curve after all that money they invested in. You know? You got Cretin, and you got the hill up by Peaky Acres and all them, you got them under pretty good control now. Up by Norm Bronson, there's a bad spot up in there that they did years ago. Plus your heavy populated areas.
Yeah,
So anyway, we're talking about a pickup. I'm gonna make a motion that we let John bid a new pickup.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna put it out for bid, or are we gonna go?
You know,
we can find state bid, but it's gonna be, like I said, we're gonna have to go out to Rochester or someplace to get
not
the
that that's
darn
all bad, you can surface it, but how much, why don't you do, let's do something also, you don't, everything gets held for months and months and you never, and then winter's coming and you're still hung up and,
You gonna do this quick?
well, I'm not saying tomorrow.
I'll write up a set of specs. We have a highway committee meeting. If you guys approve it,
Well,
we'll send it out.
We gotta approve it by the whole board, then the highway can do it after we got approval here. But I was just gonna say, make a phone call and see what the state bid was on one. Have you any idea?
I didn't bother.
I mean, it's gonna be,
Well, then at least you know where you are.
The
Yeah.
village just bought one. What was theirs, you know?
You need to check, you can't compare it with past, see what the current bid is.
find out.
It ought to be close.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Make a call and, how can we do that, Pete? sheet so that we can authorize, I mean, we're not authorized to buy it if we authorized him to bid it, are we? So he could talk to us before the next meeting, so he could, how long do you have to advertise it? If you're gonna open bid?
I have to research the exact number of days, but generally you want to advertise it for like 5 days.
Well, at least, give them time enough to work up the bids and everything else, but.
How long did we advertise the truck for?
2 weeks. We approved it and then sent the specs out after we approved it so we could get the bids in by the next board meeting. But this isn't as important as that truck either. You know, it's just a pickup truck, and what we got now is gonna matter if it's another month or whatever.
Well, let's do it this way, John.
This isn't an
I'm
emergency.
gonna make a motion tonight to buy a new truck. And next month, we will decide which way we wanna go when John comes back with a response on state bid or whether we go to open bid. Is that fair enough? And I'll make that motion tonight to buy a new truck. Sander and plow.
I'll get state bid pricing and location, and this is gonna be close to what the competitive bid price would be, because New Lisbon just did competitive price, and that was the low bid. So they ordered it.
So, does anybody want to second it? Buy a truck?
Well, if you need one. I'll second.
All in favor, aye? Opposed?
I like that
Say they're doing that.
Yeah.
They
They,
seem to do better on the selling over
New
there.
Lisbon runs,
Try your side,
An electric spreader.
I just want to get this
so they have,
straightened out.
they had to have that written
Buy,
in
it's not really buy.
But we're not gonna release bids yet.
Right, New Lisbon.
by
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Bill
Mid, I mean,
Whitaker's back.
Right,
Sorry, motion.
Table it, because you're gonna,
That's bigger too.
You're not
you want to look at it.
We want to look at it to find out what the state bid price and that
I mean,
compare.
it's not motion to buy.
That's to purchase a truck.
It's a motion to
So,
investigate.
investigate, get the specs, and for the bidding. That's what we want to do this time, it's not a motion to buy.
However, but I'm not buying a particular truck to find out.
I just want to get the motion right.
You want to amend your motion?
No, I want to buy a truck this year, just so how do I want to buy it? No, I want to buy a truck and I like the board of it, but we don't know how we're going to buy it, we do it the right way.
Do the first step, didn't you?
Next meeting.
The motion's to investigate.
next meeting, I bring you a set of specs, and I bring you state bid pricing.
Correct, and then we'll
Go from there.
And then put in the plow and the sander, so we have the prices on it.
I have those from Fisher. I haven't priced them. I get 3 bids again.
Yeah.
Or call 3 different suppliers for the plows and 3 different suppliers for the spreaders, and bring those prices to the next meeting also. Sure be tough to read that poly one though. The stainless steel ones aren't gonna be, they're gonna cost double it. I bet you. But I don't know how many other manufacturers there are, but we're looking to it and get 3 quotes.
okay, so that motion was amended or adjusted?
It's,
We're gonna bring it back next month and we're gonna have all the thing and decide how we wanna,
Provide state
bid
bid
it.
and 3 competitive bids.
Okay.
But we always did the best, for years, we did the best, having it 5 years and then selling that truck. We always got the best. We tried going to 2 years and it just, we never got the money on them, and then we tried a different odd year once, and then we ended up keeping it because it didn't get what we got. Now we got a truck that's 9 years
Well,
old and
our problem, we ran into the problem where
interest rates are
the
low.
interest rates got so low and everything, and financing, people just went and bought a brand new
yeah,
one.
it was the market that
Yeah.
killed that idea.
Yeah.
It was a good idea for
Yeah, it was
For
working
a length
for,
of time when you could buy a truck
Yep.
for 22,000
Well, I mean,
and sell it
uh,
for 17.
Yep, and drive it for 2
well,
years.
actually, yeah, I mean, actually, New Berlin, town New Berlin was doing it with their big trucks and everything else too. I mean, they were less than 5 years old, and they were gone. Because they were making, and they were making money on selling the trucks. Buy them on state contract, use them, and then they were selling them, and they made money.
Individual cannot buy any place
Oh,
close.
God, no.
Boy, do they have a good-looking fleet, too.
Okay,
I've got nothing else.
You know, if there's anything left.
There's ready to hide the checkbook there.
get it all done, we don't have to worry about the rest of your meeting.
I'll be back in January.
These are the only issues.
Is there any other business?
If not, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Meeting adjourned.